Hey Knox County, it's Stacy Miller with Visit Knox County again. We're continuing with our holiday decorating campaign in Knox County. So I am in Bloomfield and I am at Blooms and Bling with Christy Wagner, and she is going to show us how to create porch pots, like smaller scale porch pots. So stay tuned and learn with me.
Hi, I'm Christy with Blooms and Bling, and today we're going to talk about porch pots. We're going to look at doing them in a smaller scale. You can do them larger, whatever you choose to do. If you're choosing to do it out in your outside and you want to do larger pots, that's great. I just did a smaller version to kind of give you a show here. So a lot of people put dirt in the bottom of theirs. One of the tricks that you can do is put like plastic bottles or milk jugs and stuff in the bottom, then line it and then put your dirt. So they're not quite so heavy when you're trying to move them or anything like that. With these that we would put outside, these I actually put some of these old marble things that we've used in the past. Somebody probably always has them in their junk room or something to get rid of those. I put that in the bottom of the pot so they're heavy and they won't blow away. And then I just took some of this gaps and cracks filling, and you have to kind of be careful because this will expand quite a ways and you don't want it to be up above your pot. You could cut it off, but then this way when you're making your pot, that you can just go ahead, push it in. You don't have to worry about when you're doing dirt. You need to make sure that you got water in there so it freezes tight, pack them in, so forth. So one of the things to remember is when you're doing a porch pot is if your stem is plastic, it's good for indoor and outdoor. If your stem is got paper on it or anything like that, it's more of just an indoor. It will be outside for a while, but it will definitely weather. The one nice thing about doing pots like this is you could just use them year to year. And I would also like to see, like, when people are doing their porch pots, like, make it a fun day with your kids. Go outside, go find tons of pine cones, have the kids glue sticks onto your pine cones. These are just sticks that are used for kebabs with a glue gun. That's all it is. And I also think it would be great, these aren't anything that my kids made, but if you did ornaments from your kids that they did throughout a year, you can do fun little pots for that. Maybe make it for a grandma or grandpa to be able to give them as a gift of different items they made. And all of these you can just take, once again, we use these all the time, and just glue it with a glue gun and do it at whatever height you want. It just makes putting something in there really easy.
Very cool. Love that.
So we're going to go ahead on this one that I've already started on, which was a cement pot already. I did put some of the beads in the bottom, and then I just foamed it up. That's all I did on these, and then it was ready to start. Normally you want to start with your greenery, and you want, usually whatever size your pot is, your greens or your design should be 1 to 1.5 times as tall as your pot is. It kind of gives it the depth of your pot. And it also depends if what you're wanting to do is, you know, is this going to be something that just sets out front and no one sees the back, or what you're doing if you need to design around the whole back. This one I chose since I put these poinsettias in here. These poinsettias would not be an outside item. So I wanted it to be able to be where we could do it on both sides. So then I stuck this in, which was just one of these. And to finish this out, literally we just I took a pick that you can buy, and usually you can just cut them down. Or let's say you're somewhere and you found, or your old garland that you had, like, you know, that used to be on your mantle, and you want to reuse it and use it outside. You're tired of that one, cut it apart. Green tape on the end of them so they don't fray is usually helps out. But other than that, then you can just grab them and you just start sticking in wherever you need it. And this might be a little hard since I'm doing the opposite direction. But then it just sticks right into the foam like that. Like it's really easy. And then it's very smart to have a pair of these, the cutters. It cuts everything. I had one of these on the back side, so it's kind of nice to mirror it. You will hear a lot of, you have to do 3 sets of something or odd sets. Sometimes on certain things it works just to do a mirrored vision of what you're doing, especially on something like this that you may set on your, you know, like a sofa table as you come in or something like that, that people aren't gonna necessarily, you know, pay attention to both sides or either way on those. And what I would do on this one is we do have some of this. It's kind of mimics your birch, and it's actually just kind of a foam, and we can just once again stick them in. And if you want to glue these into the foam, you're more than welcome to do that. Just for this purposes, I haven't, but this just starts giving it more height, more size on this. I think this is something that I would go ahead and put in here too, just to kind of get your reds going. And then as I was going to talk about the birch a little bit, birch gets to be kind of expensive if you don't have anything, if you're going to buy it. So we have in the store, we do have some of this fake birch that's all glittered up and snowed up already for you. But then you can also do 2 different things on your own at home. This is just foam, and you just wrap it, or like a pool noodle, cut it down and use like paper, wrap it up, glue it, put some sparkles on it, and it's good to go. Or you go out to your tree, you cut off a piece, paint it white, use some brown paint or a little bit of stain, wipe it down. You're going to get the same result as going and buying the birch. That does get expensive. Some people have where they can get it easily, but if you're going to go buy it, it seems to be quite costly. And you want to make these pots, I mean, depends if you're going to use them every year. Like, it's nice if you can use them every year, but if you're taking stuff outside, you don't want to every year go and rebuy that same items over and over again. So I'm not going to finish this one out. I'll finish that one later. Just going to show you a little bit of how I would get started with this one. And this one, we were going to make it all fun, glitter, all for the kids, because we know they like that. Kind of reminds me of a little bit of the Grinch, where you got a whole bunch of the reds, greens, the sparkles, a little bit of everything in there. So usually what, once again, you start doing is just start with your greens of where you want things. And where I want my focal to be is in the middle. Is I'm going to take that first piece and put that first piece in so we can easily work around it from there, because we know that's where we want. And see, you hear the foam cracks right through. It's really easy to, now if I would have cut foam for this, I would have had to glue the foam in, and the foam doesn't come to perfect size, so you've been cutting it. So this just saves a lot of time when you're working on these. And I think these are something fun that the kids can join in on. Like, it makes it, you know, make it a tradition of what you're doing, you know. And it's fun that's for...
It's their own then, right?
Yeah, and you know, do any of us really need more stuff? It's all about the memories. So it's kind of nice to be able to make the memories along with doing this sort of stuff. So I just kind of was filling around a little bit where I know that I want that extra. And then we can keep filling in. But one thing that, and I won't put it on this particular one, but it's like you can easily stick in something like this on this pot. Also put these in there, make it all deep greens, put a bunch of pine cones in it. I mean, the pine cones I have is from some relation that went and picked them up. Literally, like, that's what I use and glue them in. I'm not going to say the kids had fun when they did it, but But this one, like, to me is just more whimsical, you know, more like when you're kind of doing the Grinch thing. And by filling out, now some of this, you know, this top piece is that, you know, 1 to 1.5 times. It doesn't mean that around your bottom, I mean, you can just fill that in. And the nice thing is if you ever wanted to, you can do this a green, you can put in extra colors. You know, we can just stick in.
So would you add little twinkly lights
You could put fairy
or-
lights in here. A lot of the fairy lights have timers in them. You can stick it right down in here, wrap them around. That's the fun thing about, I thought about doing the smaller porch pots, or I guess they don't need to be called porch pots, but the smaller pots is, it's fun to give grandma and grandpa or something that, you know, like that they can keep, that they know the kids did or helped do or something like that. It seems to be more meaningful for that also. And, you know,
Right.
I think that's a great thing for us to do with the kids. So, like I said, that's just what I would keep doing in here. You kind of stay with the same, I don't want to say greenery, but like this is all sparkles. I would probably kind of stay primarily with that. Maybe get some that would have some like this that would have still some sparkles, but also has a little bit of flocking on it. That kind of just ties right in to the rest of it. And the fun thing is you could get, you know, when you're kind of playing off maybe the Grinch on this, you could easily get a little Grinch ornament or guy, you know, and just put him like right in here.
Yeah.
Or do a bow, you know, stick him in there, or put a bow and kind of tie him to your thing here and make him your center with the that flowing down off of each side of it. And then you could just build according to that. I would double side that bow just because then it would just make it look really big here. It's almost like it'd be a tree that you're decorating on the way down. But I guess for me, that's just it's an easy way to build something like this that you can put in your house or outside. If you're sticking items outside, we do have this large planter that if you would be sticking something smaller in that planter, for instance, if I would put this in here, I would build it up, set it on something, and I would put like round balls or wood or things like that in it. You know, just make some sizable wood things, stick them in there, build this up. This particular planter doesn't have all the way down. It's got where you can pull this out, so it's not going to be heavy. I think a lot of people kind of shy away from porch pots sometimes because of they're big and bulky, and if you put something in it that you don't want to weather or whatever, you know, but
Right.
those are just different
They
options
get
of
really heavy.
things that can be made relatively easy, get everybody involved.
Them are super cute. I'll come up closer. So apparently the flocking is that just big this year, or
No.
it's always been?
Every year, like when we start putting it up, I think we find it until Valentine's Day because it comes off along with the glitter. And
That is fun, festive. Love it. And easy to do. That's why we're doing this, to show you that you can do it too. Oh, all right. Christy has lots of fun things in her store here. She makes flowers, and she's got dips, and she's got fun stuff in here. So thank you, Christy, for showing us how to create these fun pots. And thank you all for watching, and visit Knox County.